Thank you all. It should be interesting times going ahead, and so certainly thank you for your support. And I do want to welcome the new members to the committee. Pat Kelly's been on the committee before and often served as associate. Tamara Jansen, welcome, and Ted Falk. Been around for a little while too. Good to see you on here as well, Ted. So welcome, and welcome the new clerk, Evelyn Lukanuk. And I hope I got that right, Evelyn. As everyone knows, I'm a real name pronouncer. So welcome to the committee. Before we go to regular proceedings, is there basically consent to go to the nominations of vice chairs? And I'll turn it back to the clerk. We're okay? Okay, Madam Clerk, back to you.
All right, thank you. Pursuant to Standing Order 106-2, the first vice chair must be a member of the official opposition. I am now prepared to receive motions for the first vice chair.
I will nominate Pierre Poilievre as first vice chair.
It has been moved by Mr. Kelly that Mr. Poilievre be elected first vice chair of the committee. Are there any further motions? Seeing none, I declare the motion carried and Mr. Poilievre elected vice chair of the committee. We may now proceed to the election of the second vice chair. I am now prepared to receive motions for the election of the second vice chair.
Madame la Greffière.
Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk, I would like to suggest Gabrielle Sainte-Marie as second vice chair of this committee.
Il est proposé par Monsieur.
It has been moved by Mr. Julian that Mr. Sainte-Marie be elected as second vice chair of the committee. Are there any further motions?
Je déclare.
The motion is carried. Mr. Sainte-Marie is now elected as second vice chair of the committee.
Mr. Chair, now that that is through, I wonder if I could put forward routine motions.
Yes, back to we're done with the vice chairs, Madam Clerk. We complete?
Yes, we are done. Thank
Okay,
you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Okay, routine proceedings. Go ahead there, Peter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Great to see colleagues again and looking forward to working with new colleagues along the way. First of all, analyst services. That the committee retain, as needed and at the discretion of the chair, the services of one or more analysts from the Library of Parliament to assist in its work.
So moved. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, carried. Don't see any dissensions. Go ahead, Peter, or Mr. Fragascatis.
Peter's fine too, Mr. Chair. The second routine motion to be introduced here is for the Subcommittee on Agenda and Procedure. It says as follows, that the Subcommittee on Agenda and Procedure be established and be composed of 5 members, the chair, 1 member from each party, and that the subcommittee work in a spirit of collaboration.
So moved. Regular routine motion. Any discussion? All those Peter?
Yeah, sorry, this is where
Mr.
Peter
Julian.
and Peter,
Yeah.
this is where Peter and
Mr.
Peter
Julian.
doesn't work as well.
We've been out of the formalities, so I'm calling
enough.
people by their first name. Mr. Julian.
Yeah, just for further clarification, one member from each recognized party.
Okay.
I think that's probably a friendly amendment, Mr. Spregaskatis.
If Mr. Julian wants to emphasize that the NDP is indeed still a recognized party, that's fine with me.
Okay, we all agreed to that? Then all those in favor as with the friendly amendment? Carried. Mr. Fragaskatis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This routine motion relates to meetings without a quorum. That the chair be authorized to hold meetings to receive evidence and to have that evidence printed when a quorum is not present, provided that at least 4 members are present, including 2 members of the opposition and 2 members of the government. But when traveling outside the parliamentary precinct, the meeting begin after 15 minutes, regardless of members present.
Any discussion on that one? All those, you go ahead, Mr. Julian.
I think if what Mr. Fragaskatos is saying is that in the case where we are traveling across the country for pre-budgetary hearings, that it start regardless, I would agree. I'm not sure I want to give a blanket ability outside the parliamentary precinct, but I believe what he's proposing is in the case of pre-budget hearings where it does make sense. So outside of the parliamentary precinct during pre-budgetary hearings, I would support that if he accepts it as a friendly amendment.
A discussion there?
No
I'm
discussion.
not sure what I am not sure what other committees do in this regard, but anyway, we only travel for pre-budget anyway. You okay with that, Peter? You're basically saying,
yeah.
Mr. Julian, that when traveling outside the parliamentary precinct on pre-budget hearings, that the meetings begin. Is that what I'm hearing you say? Okay. We okay with that?
Yeah, very much
All
in
right.
line with what we had in the previous
Yep.
session where we under the same routine motions for this committee, Mr. Chair. That's